Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thursday's Thought for the Day. I've been thinking about a particular scene in the Gospels where, by Lake Galilee, Jesus is standing by Lake Galilee, and a crowd is pressing in on him. They're eager to hear what he has to say. And Jesus sees two fishermen cleaning their nets, and he goes up and uses their boat as a stage to create some distance between him and the crowd. And the scene is filled with meaning, and I think it gives us a clear object lesson to us about what sometimes happens in our lives. See, Simon, Peter, and James and John, they're literally minding their own business. They're fishing, they're concentrating on the task in hand. And then suddenly Jesus appears to them and takes over their personal space and commandeers their boats for his purposes. Sometimes that's what Jesus does to us. You know, we want to live our lives by the parameters we set, to pursue our own ends. And yes, Jesus can do his own thing, but over there we have no objections to him preaching in his own space in our world, but his space is over there, not where I am. But then suddenly something might happen, comes up that is of concern to him, and suddenly he's standing in our space, or looking over our shoulder, and we can no longer ignore him. And Simon Peter's reaction is a model for this, for us. Firstly, Simon lets Jesus use his boat as a place to preach from. He lets Jesus direct his work. Jesus says, "Put out into the deep and lower your nets for a catch." And Jesus is, in a sense, saying, go deeper in your faith and act on it. And Simon Peter's personal experience tells him this won't work. It won't work. We've tried. But he obeys anyway. He says to Jesus, doesn't he, "Master, we've worked hard all night and we've caught nothing. But at your command I will lower the nets." And then the result is more human success than he could have ever imagined, as he catches so many fish that they overwhelm his boat and another one. But then Simon Peter does something important. He tells Jesus how he sees himself. He sees the miracle that Jesus has done there and then, and says, "Depart from me, Lord, for I'm a sinful man." And there's something good about that. There's a certain amount of humble self-assessment, and it's right that he recognises what he is, who he is. But there's also something dangerous about it. Yes, he's a sinner. Not one of us could say we aren't. But when he defines himself by his sin, which is what he's doing, in a sense, he defines God as an enemy who rejects sinners and wants to be far from them as possible. He's not a saviour who loves sinners and draws them close and draws close to them. Now, I doubt if that was Peter's real intention. His response was in the first instance, that humble acknowledgement, but that defining ourselves by sin. It's something that I recognise that I've done at different times in my past, maybe you have. When we define ourselves by our sin and we push God away, there's no room for God. We push him away thinking we can't face him. We just can't face him because of who we are, and who we are is the total, sin is the total of who we are. We think, oh, we can't face him. We can't live up to those standards he will demand of us. How many times have you heard someone say, I couldn't go to church, I couldn't be a Christian because I'm not good enough? But then the other side of the coin, isn't it? All churchgoers are hypocrites. Now we can be a bit like Adam, hiding in the garden, naked and afraid of the Father, convinced that we are not a creature of God, but an ugly and shameful thing, and that God isn't a saviour to be sought, but an angry tyrant to be avoided. Instead, what does Jesus say to Simon Peter? He says, do not be afraid. From now on you will be catching men. You see, he sees not a sinful Simon, but the potential Peter, the rock he is meant to be. And if you're feeling worthless or not good enough, defining yourself by the things you've done wrong, just listen to Jesus' words to Simon Peter. Know that Jesus sees beyond those self-definitions. And instead of saying, depart from me, just let go, let him in. Put down your nets just as Simon Peter did those 2,000 years ago in Galilee. I'll speak to you on Monday. You take care of yourselves. God bless. Bye-bye.